Great, you're live now.
Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this What Works webinars for higher education. My name is Al-Mahdar Ahmed from the Knowledge and Human Development Authority from the higher education sector. Let me ease you into this. 2020 was a different year. Economics took a hit, education became virtual, and we were working from home and get to know our families much better. But we all adjusted. Our methods are different right now. Our lifestyle was forcefully changed, and we developed new ways to gather, and we developed new ways to learn. But by the end of the day, we came out, hopefully, better and wiser. And now we start to care about each other more. What Works webinars are, those webinars are an initiative from the Knowledge and Human Development Authority for the academic institution to share their best practices. Our focus was on schools, and now we are shifting the focus to include higher education institutions. In those webinars, this webinar will be the first one that covers the sector, and hopefully we will have more webinars in the future. And those webinars, we hope that our higher education providers share their best experiences in some of the fields that we are going to decide. Today's webinar actually is about student recruitment. It's a fit subject for a very strange time where universities and businesses in general are struggling to attract more customers. But hopefully, with some of our best practices from some of our best universities here in Dubai, we can come from the other side as better people and better institutions. So first of all, we would like to welcome two of our speakers. They will be presenting some of the best experiences. But before that, I would like to welcome my colleague, Mr. Magnus, with some light-hearted icebreaker using Menti. So Magnus, please take the board.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Magnus. Thank you so much for attending this webinar today. I will now just ask you a couple of light-hearted Menti questions. So if I could ask you all to log on to menti.com, I will post this in the chat feature here using the code 8719195. I will straight away go into my Menti here. So the code is, one second here, 8719195. Let me just go back into my Menti here, and we thought of having two icebreaker questions in the beginning now before the presentations, and then we'll have some catch-up questions afterwards as well. So I do ask you to stay on Menti throughout this process. So the first question that I'd like to ask you all is essentially key strength of higher education in Dubai. And this applies to both faculty and student prospective students essentially. Anyone from outside who's calling into this webinar, any of the faculty within the universities in Dubai, what do you feel, one or two words, the key strength of higher education in Dubai? So our first answer is international campuses. That's a great answer. Another one potentially could be, is it about location, quality, choice perhaps? Build on this whole branch campus model. Another one could potentially be great job perspectives being in Dubai, being such a prosperous city. Another one could also be the great teaching faculty possibly as well. So one or two words, your key strength with higher education in Dubai. So another one is saying diversity, fantastic. The location and fast growing economy, really interesting. High quality education, good one. Excellent employability opportunities, for sure, for sure. And again, another one about diversity, the multicultural exposure, diversity of offerings, inclusivity, choices, something for everyone. Fantastic. And we got one about location, brilliant. Another one about program demand in relation to COVID-19 changes, interesting. The key strength is about the city itself. Dubai is ranked one of the safest countries in the world, that is for sure. Faculty in international recognized degrees, yep. Well located, for sure, we're in the middle, 1 foot in the east, 1 foot in the west. Well located in a growing region, bringing expertise from all around the world. Fantastic. Really appreciate your answers there. We can move on to the next question. And that is, when researching higher education opportunities in Dubai, what resources or tools are applicants using? This again applies to faculty, that your knowledge of your students, and also when students are applying to study in Dubai, what resources or tools are you using? So a lot of you are using the website for sure. Any other example? Google searches possibly, using the student study in Dubai brochure maybe, or is it word of mouth potentially? Ask a friend. Has any of the students, do you still organize these virtual recruitment fairs possibly? Social media. Referrals from a sister or brother potentially as well. Great answers here. Social media, recommendations and reviews. Word of mouth is quite impactful for sure. Excellent lab facilities, agents and websites, social media, the ministry website to get a list of accredited universities. Fantastic. Good answers there, interesting. Instagram, Google searches, website surfing, the net, listing portals, international rankings, definitely. Virtual school, university fairs, online open days. It's great to see that university seems to be very active in recruiting, and students seem to be responding well to this as well. Fantastic. I'm grateful for your answers. I will now hand over to Al-Mehtar again for his introduction of the presenters. And then after the questions and answer session, we will come back to me again. So I want to thank you all for your great answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Magnus. Now to our presenters. First, from Heriot-Watt University in Dubai, we welcome Dr. Paul Hopkinson. He's the Associate Head of Edinburgh Business School and School of Social Science Academic Lead of Heriot-Watt. Dr. Paul, you have the ball.
Okay, I just want to check you can see my slides okay on the screen there. It's in presenting mode, I hope.
Yes, now we can, Dr. Paul, if you don't mind, just to make it full screen. Thank you.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much for the introduction. So yes, thank you very much for the introduction, my name is Dr. Paul Hopkinson. I'm the Associate Head of Edinburgh Business School and the School of Social Sciences for Heriot-Watt University in Dubai. My purpose this afternoon is not to talk so much about the specific techniques in terms of recruitment and attraction, but to talk a little bit more about what makes Dubai an attractive study location and pick up on some of the themes that were mentioned in the first question as well, I hope, as we go through. So we'll be talking a bit to start with about the university itself, a little bit about the history of Heriot-Watt, what makes Dubai an attractive study location, and then just to talk a little bit about the recent months in the wake of the pandemic and how that's changed the way that we approach things within the sector, but is also helping to build some resilience across the sector here in Dubai, and should hopefully bode well for the future in terms of attractiveness for higher education. So Heriot University was born in 19th century Scotland. We started off as a night school serving the needs of what was then a emerging clockmaking industry. 200 years later, and we're just approaching our bicentennial year this year, we're now a global institution with 5 campuses in 3 countries, 150 partners, and approximately 30,000 students worldwide, of which 10,000 are studying with Heriot online. So almost a third are online students. And I'll talk a little bit more about the history of that a little bit later as we go through. So in Dubai, we were established in 2005. We're proud to be able to call ourselves one of the largest and most successful universities here in the UAE, growing from 150 students in our year of inception to close to 4,000 currently. Host to 109 national students from 109 different countries, different nationalities, and we've been recognised for our success in recent years by 2 successive years of achieving a 5-star rating through the KHDA, and also being given the accolade of Best University in the Middle East by Forbes. We're divided into 5 schools. So we have Energy, Geosciences, Infrastructure and Society, which is home to programs such as our petroleum engineering program, our construction engineering programs, and also our Centre for Smart Construction. It's a host to our newly created Global Centre for Smart Construction. Engineering and Physical Sciences, which covers mechanical, electrical engineering. School of Social Sciences, which encompasses the Edinburgh Business School and also our Department of Psychology. And Mathematics and Computer Science, which, as well as providing programs in mathematics and computing, also offers programs in data science, AI and actuarial science. And then lastly, but not leastly, we have our School of Textiles and Design, which runs programs in design management and fashion. Underpinning all of our different schools as well, we have a number of global research. Sorry, I've advanced the slide too far somehow. I don't know, I had something there. Apologies for that. So we have underpinning all of these schools, we also have a number of global research institutes covering sustainability, energy and digital transformation. So the Edinburgh Business School, which I head here in Dubai, was reformed in 2019. It was previously home to our global MBA and to our DBA programs, but those programs were amalgamated with us, the business programs of our Faculty of School of Social Sciences, to create a new global business school. I'm not sure why my slides are advancing faster than they should be, so apologies for this. And we are divided into 7 subject areas, covering everything from HR and law through marketing, finance, accounting, operations and logistics, strategy, enterprise and economics. 2021 will see us move to a brand new campus, and we're developing a purpose-built campus in Knowledge Park, which will bring enhanced facilities for our students and staff, new recreational facility, library facilities and so on, and also digitally enabled classrooms. And something we're particularly proud of within the business school is our 5th floor enterprise floor. And in this area, we'll be hosting businesses through our partner suites, we'll be educating businesses through our executive education spaces, and we'll also be incubating businesses through our incubation spaces as well. And I'll say a little bit more about that, linking into the attractiveness of Dubai as a study location. So why Dubai? Well, Dubai is, as we all know, one of the most sophisticated and cosmopolitan cities in the world, with 180 different nationalities. And as I said earlier, we have 105 different nationalities studying with us in the Dubai campus. It's a global tourism and entertainment hub. And for those of you who like more sedentary forms of entertainment, there's lots of opportunities in terms of eating, shopping, and so on. For those who like more active lifestyles, there's opportunities for dune bashing, there's opportunities for kayaking, sailboarding, and so on. So there's lots of opportunities for different kind of lifestyles and entertainment forms here. It's a very safe in the world in terms of its safety. And of course, it's a modern design capital as well. It's home to things like Dubai Opera, Dubai Design District, and of course, some very iconic infrastructure as well. Good opportunities for employment too, for students whilst they're studying as well as once they graduate. There's opportunities for internships and work experience while you're still studying if you're in the free zones. It's a global business and knowledge hub, and as well as lots of international institutions offering internationally recognised qualifications, we have a thriving digital economy and startup ecosystem, which I'll talk a little bit about in a moment. And that startup ecosystem offers opportunities not just for students on graduation, but also during their studies as well. This is a great place to study, and most institutions, Heriot Watt is no exception, provide lots of opportunities for students to engage in extracurricular activities through clubs and societies and competitions, and we do a lot to try to bring learning to life once you're in the classroom. And there's a few examples of things that we do in Heriot Watt here on the screen. For example, global exchanges, and these are a group of MBA students visiting from the UK to UAE. And we've also hosted arrangements in the other direction as well, with students going traveling to our Edinburgh campus. Opportunities to engage in entrepreneurship through business startup activities and simulation activities, skill sessions, so focusing on the sort of soft skills and the emotional intelligence that students need to be able to survive in today's digital economy. So we focus not just on the technical skills that students need to be successful in their careers, but also some of those soft skills as well. Of course, there are a lot of global organizations here, employers, organizations, and these are just some examples of areas where companies where our students have found their way to upon graduation, and this is reflected in some positive statistics in terms of employability and also employer involvement in careers fairs as well within the university. Now, Heriot Watt is very much focused these days on engaging students and building their capabilities to cope in today's digital economy, digital and knowledge economy. And of course, here in the UAE and Dubai specifically, we have a very thriving digital economy, and this has been reflected in quite a number of initiatives, strategic initiatives by government, as well as some quite senior appointments, as well as His Excellency Omar bin Sultan Al Omar, for example, who is our Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence, Digital Economy and Remote Working Applications. It's not just about appointments and policy documents, though, and you've seen a lot of investment in government services, in disruptive technologies, in smart technologies, and there's some ambitious plans in terms of bringing blockchain, for example, into government services to make them more efficient and effective for the future. So this region, and specifically Dubai, is a standout area for its digital economy, and it's been reflected in a number of surveys in recent years. Tufts, for example, highlighted the UAE as one of the most rapidly advancing digital economies. The WEF ranked it as the standout digital economy globally. So if you want to learn about the applications of digital technologies, if you want to be in amongst technological development, there's no better place to be. And this has created lots of opportunities for universities to bring out new programs. So for ourselves, for example, we have programs in AI and data, digital leadership, digital marketing. We also have digital design, and there are a number of initiatives that we've brought onto our campuses to educate students about digital technologies and technologies such as AI and VR. And there's more things planned in the future in that area. And we've seen, not just within Heriot Watt, but we've seen developments across the sector in this area with the creation of the first AI university within the UAE. Going back to what I was saying about the startup ecosystem, Dubai is very well served in terms of its startup ecosystem, particularly in the tech sector. So you've got places like DTech, you've got independent areas, private incubators and accelerators such as Astrolabs, lots of opportunities for students upon graduation to get involved in startup businesses. And there's good quality infrastructure in terms of funding and support as well. And you can see here some recent stats which suggest that Dubai ranks 29th in the world, but well above other leading cities such as New York, London, Tokyo, and so on. So in terms of the startup infrastructure, the opportunities to get involved in new businesses, it's an excellent place to be. But this doesn't extend just to students upon graduation. And recently, through His Excellency's 50-year charter and the 6th article of the 5th charter, launched the University Entrepreneurship Program. Now, this is organised and managed by Future Foundation, and the intention of this is really to get students to engage with enterprise and creative businesses during their studies as an integrated part of their studies. So once they graduate not just as successful students, but also as potentially as entrepreneurs. So with a funded business idea that they can then take and to help develop the national economy as well as their careers. And so far there's been 12 organisations, 12 institutions that have signed up to this within the UAE. We count ourselves amongst those, as well as people like RIT, Wollongong, Sheikh Zayed University, and so on. And this really is an excellent initiative which enables students to get support through the Alchemy programme, which is underpinned by leading academic institutions within the area of entrepreneurship. So the students are given an academy which helps them to develop their ideas, as well as funding and support. Just to finish on then, I'd just like to talk about the impact of COVID, which has affected us all across the sector, and which should help to build more resilience going forward. So inevitably, COVID has been extremely challenging for the sector. We often use this analogy of building a plane while we're flying it. Was all institutions within the sector, we were pushed into a situation because of lockdowns and international lockdowns of having to pivot our teaching overnight and to find new ways of engaging with our students whilst maintaining the quality of our interactions and our experiences. And we've learned lots of things through this process. But hopefully what it will do, and the sector here in Dubai has responded to this tremendously well, is it will enable us to build greater resilience for the future, which will add to the attractiveness of Dubai as an educational centre. So it's enabled opportunities for international collaboration through international campuses and international institutions. It's enabled us to think more carefully about our face-to-face interactions and make the best use of those. So by taking some of the more routine activities and putting those online, it's enabled us to make better use of our interactions within the classroom. So we can use some of the lecture opportunities, creating online lectures, whilst at the same time using the classroom activities to do more active activities. It's also enabled us to look at new programs to upskill and reskill our students for the future. So that's it for me. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I apologise for the slight technical difficulties with the slides early on, and I'll pass back to our host. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. Really appreciate that. And now we introduce Ms. Fatma Al-Marri from Dubai Tourism and the initiative of Study Dubai. Fatma?
Hi, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Fatma and I'm super happy to be with you today to share with you what we've done as the government of Dubai, specifically Dubai Tourism in collaboration with KHDA to make Dubai more student friendly for the higher education and as a whole city that welcomes people from all over the world. Now, as we heard earlier with Dr. Paul, that he said that there are so many different nationalities within their campus. And as you know, there are so many different nationalities around Dubai, which means it's a great opportunity for collaboration, for communication, to create something amazing that people can benefit from, whether it's a business, whether it's an idea submitted to the government, or any project that someone would love to do for their selves and others as well. So the reason we started this study Dubai is to provide a guide for higher education opportunities for Dubai, and also to be the voice of Dubai abroad, as what we're doing with tourism, to be also the voice for business and education in collaboration with KHDA on that end. So to do that, we had to go to Dubai universities and ask them what is the best thing that they like about their city that they're studying in. And we had a lot of feedback from the students in Dubai. And as we go on this journey, we're working hand in hand with KHDA and the universities and the students and their parents to basically understand what would make Dubai an even better place for others, competing with global destinations such as London, New York, when it comes to acquiring students from all over the world. Now, this presentation that I'm presenting is basically gives you content pre-COVID about what is it to be in Dubai, and if anything that we learned over the past year and the past few months is that Dubai guarantees safety and security, given that everyone is following the rules and regulations with regards to not spreading the disease, or like being more taking more responsibility, being more healthy, more active, especially with the Dubai Fitness Challenge that started in November for 30 days. Now, the city has a lot to offer, and you know this more than anyone. I cannot be the only person here speaking about this, because you guys will tell me even more things that I didn't even mention here. So as a student, it's a different experience. As an employee, it's also a different experience. And I didn't have the opportunity to study abroad, but I studied in Dubai, and it was a different experience because as a student in Dubai, you see the immense opportunities around you and how you can work together with your colleagues or with your professors to give amazing ideas and start businesses and start doing a lot of things. I'll tell you a quick story. I don't know if you guys know Salt, the business, the restaurant over at Kite Beach, and they have so many other businesses as well now. It started as a student idea in the university, working with other friends, and it became a very good restaurant. Now it's going all over the GCC, and it now has also different restaurants at Dubai Mall. So you can do amazing stuff. You don't even have to be an entrepreneur. You can work with entrepreneurs to come up with a business idea and start your own thing. On the other hand, we have amazing companies that you can work with, and it only requires something very simple as speaking to your university, talking about the internships and placements, and use these opportunities to do so. So, as you all know, Dubai is a great place to live, being ranked constantly at the top when compared to other destinations. We monitor this on a regular basis, and we understand what other countries are doing, and we try to do even better here, because our main goal is to have people who are living here have the happiest time, create memories with their loved ones, and really enjoy the time here. Now, how do you get a head start in your future? First of all, you got to choose what you want to study, the area of study, and then you choose from many different universities that we have here. We just had Harriet Watts speaking to us, and it's an international university. We have so many other universities as well here, so you can have so many different choices that you can choose from. Other than that, when you are a high achiever, you work really hard, you get really good grades, you have an even better rewarding opportunities for that. And when we talk about the future forwardness of the city, in Dubai, we want the big ideas, the crazy ideas that take us, at the top of the world. A few days ago, I heard something that we're doing space tourism. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but apparently within 2 years, there will be something in Dubai with regards to space and tourism. So we are very hyper connected given our that situation in the world, and we are easily connected with other destinations. The advantages of Dubai, as you can see, that we are always on the top of when it comes to different technologies. We try to experiment with different things here, and we reward really highly people who go ahead and believe in their ideas and implement them. And now if you see the city as a snapshot, we have many different universities offering courses in technology. sports, culture, entertainment, and dining, and also staying connected with it's given the airport and what I just mentioned as well. So the quality of education, here we have testimonials from Dubai students who are coming from abroad and speaking about their own experience here. And this is also available on our website, studydubai.ae. It's also on Visit Dubai. So if you go to Visit Dubai, then you can go there, studyindubai.ae. So the study focus as well, as I mentioned, technology, business, tourism, managing your finances. As a student, as I said, it's a different experience for you. So you gotta be a really, you gotta have a budget. So when you have a budget, you are able to enjoy what you can do in Dubai. So you can go to the movies. We have great discounts for students, dining, technologies, whatever it is that you want to have. There is something special for students. Now, even with the banks, now considering that you are a student, it's a different situation. So you can choose from the different banks how you want to manage your finances. And earning while you learn. So as a student in Dubai, you're able to work part-time so that you can also help yourself gain a good experience before joining the workforce as a graduate. So use these opportunities at hand. We have many scholarships as well. I've met so many students taking full scholarships at universities in Dubai and enjoying all the facilities that they can. So this is just the presentation just to show you what in Dubai you can do and how you can have really good time being a student. Use all the opportunities you have, ask questions. You have a lot of good advisors in universities. And if you don't have advisors, then maybe you have people who graduated from universities in Dubai and they can tell you how their experience was. And I'm gonna tell you something, whatever they tell you, your experience is gonna be unique to yourself. So continue asking questions. And if you have any feedback for us as the government, please feel free to ask us, jump on our website, social media accounts as well. I saw earlier one of the questions was how do we get more students searching about Dubai, or how do students search about Dubai? I saw social media. It plays a very important role now, especially with marketing and advertising. We utilize it a lot, so definitely use that. So each one of you has a unique talent that is offering to the world, and I hope that you use it to the best that you can. You learn as you go, and we're always here to answer your questions. So thank you, guys. This was what I wanted to share with you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us as we are here right now. And Mahbar, over to you.
Thank you very much, Fatma. I appreciate your input. Thank you, everyone. Now we will move on to the question and answers. We have received some questions from our attendees upon registration, so we will share those questions with our esteemed guests, and hopefully we will get very beneficial answer. The first question, actually two questions which can be merged for you, Dr. Paul. What is the best method of marketing and advertising these days? We are talking about marketing and advertising educational offerings. Also, which are the must do recruitment activities that you would recommend for any universities? Dr. Paul, you are on mute. Dr. Paul, you are on mute. Sorry for the technical error. We'll go for the next question, and then we will come back to Dr. Paul. The next question, actually, if you can That will be for Fatma from Dubai Tourism. How can we make it more student-friendly for our students to apply to universities in the UAE? What are the features that are provided by the government? And how do we manage the expectations for students residing outside UAE when they come to Dubai?
I would say the best thing, first of all, is to really understand the gaps, if there are any gaps that we have within the student markets here, and understand from the people who are experiencing it, the students themselves, to have an open dialogue between the universities, the government, and the students and their parents as well. To have this on an ongoing basis, it would be a great experience, I believe, for everyone, to see how we can work together to make this the best experience for the students, for the professors that are coming here from abroad, that are residing here, and as a whole education system. As you well know, we are preparing the next generation, and doing so, we need everything that we have now, because who knows what's coming next, right? And we need to be prepared for that. And if we're not prepared, then I mean, it's not like no one is ever not prepared. You are always prepared given the resources that you have. And in Dubai, and not only in Dubai, given that we are working with so many different cities, so many different global networks, we are at a very good position to work together to see what's best for everyone. So the answer to that is basically to have an open dialogue with everyone on a continuous basis. Anything anyone has concerns about, to reach out immediately, and people are going to be definitely on there working with that to help them.
Thank you very much. Dr. Paul, do we have you back?
Thank you, Mahdar. Looks like Dr. Paul is having technical difficulties because he's not online. So, yeah, he's not with us at the moment.
Okay. Then I will ask the second questions. We have our expertise here as well. Dr. Nitesh, we have Wasim. So a question is, what are the recommended practices or activities that a university can use in order to attract more students? In order for market, what are the best marketing methods for that?
Medar, hi, this is Nitesh here. We have a few campuses with us, and perhaps if there's a member in the group that wants to share some comments via the chat, or yeah, and then we can read those out.
Great. If you have any participation in this, if you have a comment, an idea, or a suggestion from the attended campuses, please put it in the chat. We'll try to put you through. Dr. Paul, are you available right now?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had some technical issues and I had to log in. My apologies.
No worries. No worries. I will read you the question that we have from our attendees. The question is, what is the best method of marketing and advertising these days? We are talking about marketing academic offerings. Also, which are the must-do recruitment activities that you would recommend any university to do?
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm having problems with video now, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Okay, yes, so as regards to the recruitment activities, I'd say that in terms of marketing activities, generally, face-to-face interaction or virtual personalized interaction is still very important in terms of the recruitment process. Certainly in terms of the early part of the recruitment process, creating content to engage students, engaging with people to explain a bit about the programs themselves, talking about the attractiveness of Dubai as a study location. All of those things are very important, but certainly in terms of towards the end of the recruitment cycle, having that face-to-face interaction, the chance to meet faculty, to talk to the people that are actually going to be delivering the program still remains very important. So we can't do away with the face-to-face. It is very much a personal business that we're in education, and it is about personal interaction. So the personalized interaction still remains quite important. In terms of channels, yeah, digital channels, of course, have become increasingly important in recent years, and a lot more activity goes on in social media in terms of trying to engage with students with interesting and engaging content. So channels such as Instagram have become very popular because of the target age group that we're looking at, particularly for undergraduates. As you move more towards postgraduate students, then platforms such as LinkedIn are also very important, because that builds a more professional audience and professional following.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. The second question, also for you, Dr. Paul, is yes. How can we move? No, not this one. Sorry, my apologies. Yes, share thoughts on the future of higher education and what effective online education models will look alike. So that's for you, Dr. Paul, and any for the attendees if they have any thoughts about this.
Thank you for that. Yes, so one of my roles, as well as an associate head for Edinburgh Business School, is actually head of academic lead for Higher Ed Online. So the sector has been going on a digital transformation pathway for some years, and I remember reading an article shortly after the financial crisis talking about how we would never go back to the old normal, and we're entering a period of the new normal, essentially where universities would have to work much more harder to engage students through online means. So we've been on this trajectory for some time in terms of digital transformation. And what COVID has done is actually accelerated that process quite considerably. So whereas in the past universities had a bit of a choice about delivering online, of course with COVID everybody had to pivot overnight. So it's forced us to rethink the methods that we use to teach and the approaches that we take to engage students. And of course, what we found is that it's not a one-size-fits-all. There is still an important place for face-to-face interaction, but we can use those opportunities in a more effective way to engage students more fully. So the sort of flipped classroom approach that we've been talking about for a number of years, blended learning approaches, where concepts, ideas can be communicated through lecture content, whether that's live lecture content or recorded lecture content, and then the face-to-face contact is used for much more immersive activities, for case exercises, for field trips, those kinds of things. So I would see, we're not going to go back to the old normal. So the new normal is with us to stay. But the key challenge for higher education now, of course, is to think about how we can make those experiences much more exciting and engaging going forward, and think about how we can perhaps approximate some of the lab opportunities virtually as well, because what we found is that COVID has enabled us to engage with wider audiences in different locations. So that thinking about how we can create online immersive activities as well as face-to-face ones in the future. But face-to-face contact still has a place, an important place to play in educational experiences, and we still need to find ways to provide a sense of community among students through face-to-face and online means.
Thank you very much. We have a question from Dr. Kumar. Actually, also it will be for you, Dr. Paul. He said something about the digital transformation in teaching learning process owing to the current COVID pandemic. How did you conduct the online classes along with the offline classes during the last semester? Of course, following all the protocols of health and safety. So if you can elaborate on the implementation itself, Dr. Paul.
Yes, thank you. So the model that we adopted was a responsive one, using blended learning. So we recognise that the situation with COVID was a very fluid one, and in the initial phases we weren't sure how long the situation was going to carry on. We recognised that in our different global locations as well, that the extent of the pandemic varied, and the government guidelines would also vary. So ours has been a very adaptive an agile approach to teaching and learning, given the different situations in our different global locations. However, what we've done is we have taken a lot of our lecture material, lecture content online, delivering them live. So they haven't just been recorded lectures, but we've been delivering them live, tapping into our global faculty. So this has been a real benefit for us, is tapping into our faculty in different locations, their different experiences, their different expertise. Yes, there's some efficiency benefits in doing that, but there's also a lot of benefits in terms of enhancing the experience. And then taking things like tutorials where we need face-to-face activity, and doing those, of course, in a very socially distanced and safe environment. So we've followed the regulations in terms of ensuring that students are appropriately distanced from one another, that they wear masks at all times. So all of those things to comply with the regulations, but not just to comply, but also ensure the safety of our students and the safety of our staff. And really it's the safety of the students and the safety of the staff that has been at the forefront of our minds, as well as balancing that with the needs of the curriculum and what we need to deliver through face-to-face. And of course, the space factor as well, because of the impact it has on the available space that you have to operate with.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. We'll have time for one more question. This question is for Fatma. I think this is a university asking, if you want to amend information on the Visit Dubai website, who should we contact?
It's about amending something on the Visit Dubai website?
Yes.
Okay, great. So they can definitely contact us on the inquiries section. In Study Dubai, there's an inquiry section that they can submit their message, and I'll definitely respond to them as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's what we have time right now for the questions. I appreciate all of your questions. I appreciate the answer from our guest speakers. Now hand it over to Magnus.
Yes, thank you so much, Al-Mektar, for all those fantastic Q&A questions that we received. We're now just going to move on to Menti again, so I can please ask you to either log back on, or stay on a Menti, and we'll just have some quality questions here. So essentially, I would just ask you to have a look here at the overall, how satisfied were you with the presentations today? If I can give you 15 seconds there to just input your suggestions there. Thank you so much for that. Now, if we move on to the next final question, I'm going to put this in presentation mode. What I enjoyed most about the webinar today. So what did you guys enjoy most about the webinar today? I think we've learned a lot about Dubai and the opportunities that exist in Dubai, particularly about location. And people tend to say location, location, location. I think with Dubai, we can also add opportunities, 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 because there's an endless of opportunities. Anything to, whether it's work related, study related, living related, is a fantastic lifestyle that we're all offered here. So the first answer we have here is topic, the topic. Absolutely, it's a very important and interesting topic, particularly during this pandemic that we're enduring right now. Potentially also some of you might have learned a lot more about the entrepreneurship opportunities that exist here in Dubai. Also understanding about resilience and how the academic program, the course offerings might change regarding upskilling, for instance, but also maybe how safe Dubai is. So Dubai is a tech city, definitely, particularly with the fantastic initiative called Dubai Future Accelerators. We have an answer here with different topics and very insightful information about Study Dubai website. Fantastic. We do encourage you to go on to the Study Dubai website, some fantastic opportunities and resources for you. Learning about HW in Dubai, fantastic. Harriet Watt, I believe that is, yeah. Great, wonderful. Dubai is all about choices, and you can apply it to any lifestyle that you want, so fantastic. I want to say thank you for this. We just move on to the next final question. What could help build Dubai as a higher education hub? So let's build on the higher education brand that Dubai already is, and make it more attractive in the future. So what resources and support would you like to see more of? This applies to faculty in Dubai currently working within universities, but also potentially new students. What would you like to see more of in order to improve the attractiveness of Dubai in the future? We've touched upon the health and safety aspect to make Dubai a safe destination to arrive at. I saw in the questions in the live chat feature, there was a question regarding mental health support, which of course is very important. Another person mentioned something about public transportation. We're a very car-focused country and city. Everybody tends to have a car, so public transportation is something that they're continuously improving on it year on year. Is there anything, affordability, lifestyle, and accommodation? For sure. One sort of positive thing that the pandemic has brought upon itself is essentially that the rents have gone down. But for sure, so another answer is special offers, discount program for students and more job opportunities. Fantastic. The government should create an awareness for educational tourism. Good answer. Anybody want to share something about how to improve the branch campus model that we have here in Dubai? How to manage expenses, cost of living, more initiatives with local agencies, government sessions, more collaborations, meaning online sessions with Study in Dubai to promote Dubai as an overall destination to prospective students. That's a really, really good initiative. We will build on the already strong relationship we have with Study in Dubai, so that's fantastic. Make it easier, more student-friendly for students in high schools in Dubai to apply to our universities. Too many approvals and equivalencies needed. Yeah, less regulation. We'll take that on board. Fantastic. It is a desire for more and more students, I believe, particularly now during the pandemic, to stay on in the country and continue on to study at university in the country where you actually did your high school. Fantastic. I want to say big thank you to all of you for answering this. Lovely. We will just end with, we have something called In This Together Dubai, which is a website that we created in March to support schools and universities in acquiring free resources to support your educational needs. So we do encourage you to log on to that. And we also have the What Works website, which is the base for this What Works X webinar. So I want to say a big thank you, and I'll hand over to Mehta. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Magnus. I would like to thank everyone who attended this webinar. I would like to thank our guest speakers, Dr. Paul and Ms. Fatma. I would like to thank also the team who worked on organizing this webinar. Please go to the Into This Together Dubai website to view our future webinars in higher education and school levels. We appreciate your attendance and we hope we see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.